Virgo. My name is Echo, and thank you for joining me for your March 2025 tarot reading. I do apologize for this late reading. It's been a crazy busy time for me since January and February rolled in. I was preparing for a move, so you may see that I'm in a new space. The Blue Raven here in Washington is always welcoming new guests and always welcoming new energy, and as such, I invite you to join me today. So, you may be aware that we have an eclipse coming up, and I'm going to have another video about that very soon. On the 13th and the 14th, I want to prepare you for that energy. The eclipse is going to be in your sign, Virgo, so just be prepared for that. I'll have that ready to go for you very shortly here. Pardon my voice, I am fighting a little bit of a cold at this time. It's been a super busy time for me, so let's go ahead and continue with this reading and see what we have for you in March. You have the dog spirits. Be loyal to what you love. So being loyal to those around us is a very easy endeavor for us, Virgo, because we're a loving sign. I mean, all the signs have love, but Virgo is the healer who's always looking to fix a problem. It's a very caretaker energy, I guess you could say, because we have the solutions, we have the answers, we have the organization, and we are always ready to heal whatever the situation with our whole heart. But being loyal to what you love can also mean being loyal to the things that interest you, what really captures your heart, and yourself as well. What purpose are you here for? What really matters most to you in your daily life? Now, this doesn't have to be a particular job or particular task. It can be something as simple as just our hobbies, how we relax, how we have fun. These are important things to make sure that life is flowing in a way that's simpatico with you, so the stress doesn't get you down, because it's all about maintaining that forward movement and the energy and taking the rest in between so we can continue forward without all that burnout, all right? Because then things like depression and whatever creep in, and we don't want that. This is worth pointing out that we do have a North Node in Pisces and a South Node in Virgo right now. Pisces is about that dreamy energy, very watery, very emotional patterns. So if you find yourself in an emotional situation, follow that passion. And if it does drag you down, take a minute to kind of sit with that and then release it. This does also indicate that signs and symbols may come to you in your dreams as well at this time, Virgo. And the South Node is in your sign of Virgo, meaning South Node is the things we have already learned, lessons that we carry with us every day because we've been through those. And Virgo, as you know, is all about detail, organization, and tending to the little things to get everything sorted out. So follow that forward movement in North Node when the dream pulls you and when you feel that heart-based energy calling to you. But take note of how to organize and take all those factors and put them into play for you, which you're very good at, Virgo. Next, you have the Worm Moon Faith. So this is all about having faith in yourself and stepping forward with confidence, okay? You also need to have faith that the universe is going to be there for you, because when we start to despair, when we start to stress, then we get kind of held up in our spot, right? We get stuck in our head, especially us Virgos. I'm a Virgo myself. So don't get stuck in your head at this time. Have faith that whatever plans and whatever people are meant for you will fall into place. Let me just get those cards, excuse me. They will fall into place, and they will make sure that whatever serves you best is going to happen. And if something doesn't work for you, Virgo, something doesn't go just the way you planned, don't despair, because sometimes when doors are closed to us, it's only to open us up to a path that will serve us better, okay? Magic always takes the path of least resistance. So let's continue reading, and we'll draw you another oracle card here. You have the Outlaw. You are not playing around. In March, Virgo is ready to, I guess you could say, pull out all the stops. So you're the kind of person who's going to do what it takes to get the job done, okay? And you always have a plan for everything. So when you have a plan for how things are supposed to work out, excuse me, I just had to take a little sip. I am fighting a cold, so my voice gets a little gravelly, and I just don't want you to have to listen to that. But given that you are the outlaw, you are willing to color outside of the lines when you feel that it's part of the plan, that it will serve the greater good. I hope this is making sense. We like structure, us Virgos. We like details. But people think that we're almost like a teacher kind of energy. Like everything has to follow a specific lesson plan. There's step A, step B, step C. We only do this, and I'm speaking from my personal perspective. If you're a Virgo and you don't operate this way and you disagree, or maybe you full heartedly agree, put things down in the comments below and let me know what you think. But for me, I have four things in Virgo, four planets in my chart. It actually is the way I find comfort when I don't want to have to put together some extra creative plan. If I can pin it down to A, B, and C and follow a structure and follow the law, then it kind of takes a lot of the guesswork out of it for me and I don't begin to panic. However, my rising sign is Aquarius, who is the forward thinker. And if that means I have to create new ways, I'll do it. So I've got this little weird aspect of being ready to be the outlaw, being ready to be creative. But Virgos as a whole right now, with this eclipse coming up in your sign on March 13th, or the 14th, depending where you live, uh, you're willing to color outside of the lines where you see it's needed, because maybe coloring outside of the lines is part of the plan now. So let's go ahead and throw some cards for you, my dear Virgo, and see what March has. You have the Nine of Wands in reverse. The Nine of Wands is all about wounded warrior energy, standing your ground. So you may be having to give ground at this time in ways that make you a little bit uncomfortable, or maybe you're finding ways to get comfortable with giving ground. But there is a little bit of give and take at this time for you, Virgo. And it may be because the world's kind of up in arms right now. I mean, there's a lot going on socially as well as astrologically, a lot of chaotic energies flowing around. But this may mean that you recognize where it's time to give your good graces, maybe give ground on something if you disagree with a point, and just listen to a person, because everybody likes to be listened to now and then. Maybe you need to give ground on something that is just not working for you at this time. Maybe change your own opinions, entertain new ideas and new ways of thinking, because this is how we grow. Next, you have the Knight of Swords in reverse. The Knight of Swords is a very airy energy. Air is all about communication, intellect, and thought. So you might have a hard time communicating exactly what it is you're thinking at this time. And it's not because your brain scrabbled. I mean, that could be the case. It's entirely possible. We do have a Mercury retrograde coming up as well later this month. That's supposed to hit, I believe, on the 14th. But if you do have issues communicating, don't worry about it. Honestly, right now, I feel like a lot of society just wants to be heard. If you disagree with somebody and they become mean and nasty, that's when communication shut off and you realize, okay, they didn't want communication. They just wanted to be heard. Cool. I hear you, and just leave it at that. But if you consider other people's point and really lend a listening ear, it teaches them, hey, that was a really good interaction. So be careful of how you communicate at this time. If things are coming off kind of brain fog and you realize it's probably better not to speak before you think, or you can't really get the point across, don't put too much energy into it at this time. Just let it be. Sometimes it's better to let thoughts be thoughts before we put them into words, right? Next, you have the Eight of Wands. Wands are very fiery energy, all about action. So you're more interested in action at this time. Actions speak louder than words, is what I'm hearing. Given that you're having to give ground on things and you're a little unclear about the way to communicate or think about a situation, this tells me that your focus is all about action. Actions do speak louder than words. You're already looking to color outside of the lines as the outlaw. Have faith in the universe and be loyal to what it is you love, the things and the people and yourself, what truly interests you and what resonates with you. So this tells me that there's a lot of clarity coming through in a situation for you and how you're going to action that. But given that these cards are playing out the way they are, it looks like you're looking to move out of your headspace and just turn the things you've been thinking about, turn the things that you've been contemplating into more than thought, make them reality, make them very real. Your passion is speaking to you a lot this month. So I just want to see, what does maybe Virgo not see coming in the month of March? The Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is all about compassion, and when she's aspecting poorly, maybe gossip. So what you don't see coming is that there is someone or something something, some group of people, maybe some environment that is compassionate with whatever it is that's resonating with you. And they really will appreciate what it is you're trying to achieve with this Eight of Wands. So while you may not have found that tribe yet, you are going to find some moments here in March where you really feel appreciated and genuine individuals. You find yourself among people who behave or think very much in the way you do, or perhaps they just really appreciate whatever it is you're creating. What blessings does my Virgo have in the month of March? You have Temperance in reverse. Now, Temperance is all about patience, okay? So the fact that you have this in reverse tells me your blessing is a little bit of impatience, and that sounds really weird, but if you're impatient about something, it's that much more drive, that much more calling that's coming to you, your soul space, spirit saying, hey, it's time to move forward with this thing. It's time to get stuff done, okay? And as a Virgo, myself, like I said, we do tend to get stuck in our heads and kind of sit and ride the fence rather than take action because we're still mulling over, is this right? Should I do this? How can I make this perfect? Get out of that, get up and start moving. You have these blessings, you have this energy in March. So for our last card, I just want to see, excuse me, I am fighting a bit of cold. I just want to see for my Virgos in our last card, what advice Spirit has for the month of March. What advice do you have? The Emperor in reverse. Now, the Emperor is all about taking charge, running the show, and making sure things are done to a specific order. If you notice, let me turn this upright for you for a moment. He has those children in the background. This came up for the Aquarius reading, but that's all about putting into the future, leaving a legacy. The advice for you have right now is not so much to pour into a legacy as you take charge of the situation, Virgo, but more so living in the moment, okay? You're taking charge of a situation, but you also need to know when to let go. Don't overinvest in something. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. If you are pouring into a legacy at this time, it's not to say you're wrong to do so, but don't forget to live in the moment because these little moments will go by like that. Time is certainly flying. I don't know anybody who would disagree with this. If you do, leave something in the comments. But if you also have instances where you feel like you were working on something and then boom, it was gone in the blink of an eye, then yeah, then leave something. Let me know. I mean, I have children of my own. So like I look at them and every day I'm just remembering, oh my gosh, your birthday's coming. And I still remember when they were little bitty babies. So let me go ahead and throw a rune for you here. When I pull runes, I just want you to know, Virgo, I do this at random. I am not looking. We're just going to see what Spirit has for you in the runes. So the rune you got was not these. Not these is more or less translate, I guess you could say to it, not this. So it can indicate that there is something you recognized is not right for you. Something may pop up that just totally feels off, feels like a vibe that doesn't resonate with you, and you need to give yourself permission to let that thing go so you can go toward whatever it is Spirit is pushing you toward and whatever it is that will help you grow in your intended purpose and grow in your path. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I do apologize for the late timing, Virgo. Like I said, I've had a lot going on with the move, and I am just now fighting off a cold, but thank you so much for your patience. I'm wishing you a blessed month of March. My name is Echo, and I will see you next time.